was a small child, I always wanted to make games. I just wanted to, make my own small worlds, play with them, and I just wanted my story to be told. But due to some here's and there's, I was never able to do that professionally. I didn't got any proper job in game development, and then my career path took another turn. But eventually, I find my hobby again. I found it. I made sure that I work hard on it, and I wake up every day and started taking steps on it. But it was never easy. I am just a developer. I just know how to code things. I just know how to, write codes in C sharp and Python. But I never knew assets. I never knew anything. And when you just go ahead and you start getting pro, you realize that there are so many things which you never realize when you are thinking or planning to go pro. There are so many things which I realized, which I never knew, that how difficult that could be when you go and try to be a professional game developer. But here I am trying to share some of the things which I realized on making my one of the first games as professional. I'm Karthik here, the face of Dreamfract Games. I mean, not technically the face, but yeah. I mean, you're not able to see me, but yes, the face of Dreamfract Games. I launched it last week. I worked on an indie game named Chase the Bag, if you can see my screen. I just worked on this game for almost 2 weeks. I know this game is not that big, not that fancy, but it's more than enough for me to start my journey, to let people know that, okay, I have entered the stage and just to leave my mark. So if you still haven't checked it out, you can check it out on Edge. I will leave the link in description so you can also understand that, what I have made and what was my first step in going pro. So without wasting any of your time, I would just like to give you some of the tips, tricks, and some of the things which I knew you would know, which I think you should know before going pro or before even thinking of making something on your own. So let's start with actual game development rather than publishing it and polishing. So first thing which you have to do is you have to select which platform you have to go ahead and do. So for example, when I started Chase the Bag, I thought that I would go ahead and make it a mobile game, but since I made it, I made sure that it had so many features. It had more complex controls than, a basic mobile phone. It would get too overwhelming. So then eventually I went ahead and I made sure that I make it for PC. So it's okay to start not knowing which platform you are targeting. It's totally okay. For example, I also didn't knew that which platform I'm, targeting. I just made sure that I'm telling my story in the exact way I want my story to be told. Later, you will discover, okay, so how the story is going to be told is the second thing. First thing is, what is your story? What is your actual game? What is the actual goal with which you want to make? So always please start with that. Going ahead, when you go ahead and if you are the same developer as I do, you would go ahead and struggle a lot with finding the assets, with writing the code all around the thing. So I would give you a quick tip. For example, if you are making 2D games, 2D sprites would be something which you would have to work harder for. I think I will make a separate video on how you can get 2D stripes and all for your main characters, for villains and animation. But for now, there are so many things which are required in the game, like props, like buildings in a 2D game, like road images. But how would you get that, right? So first thing I would suggest you is just go ahead and try the asset stores. For example, I would give you a walkthrough of Unity Asset Store because that is something which I have used a lot. So just search the Google on Unity Asset Store. You can directly go to the 2D from here itself. So just go with 2D. And here you can find the direct link to the free attributes which are available, either characters or show all. So what I usually do is, if you also see my screen, that's a free character from the store itself. So just go here. If you have a good budget, you can go ahead and select any one of this. But as I was not on a budget and I was just, testing the waters, I just went ahead. I checked for the free assets, just like for example, Hero Knight is one of the best which I like. I'm planning to use it ahead. You can see there are so many 2D animated skeletons, the bandits. I mean, it tells you the story that there are so many free assets that you do not even have to spend a single rupee to make your first game and to go pro. So that is the first thing which I would suggest you, that do not waste your time by thinking that you will struggle in assets because assets are always there. Now, for example, you need a specific type of asset. For example, you need a building or a hospital asset, which is not available on this thing. right? And you just need a picture for a hospital on the background. So I would suggest you to use the AI for it. My favorite one is Copilot. So for example, if you just see here, just give me a second. Okay, so if you just see here, and I will just give it a thing like, for example, let's go with the example which I was taking. Generate a 2D pixelated image of hospital which I can use it in my 2D game development journal. Make it white and tall with windows. Okay, so I'm just giving randomly things, random ideas which are coming in my mind. Do not take it very obviously. You will definitely have your own idea, own imagination. And then later I can say it, make it, oh, I already said it, make it white. Okay, perfect. So if you just go ahead and if you just let it know what are your requirements, and if you just go ahead and tell it, you will see that it's able to generate it for you. Okay. Okay. It will take some time to generate, but eventually it will give you, definitely give you something that you can use it. And Copilot is definitely free. So I mean, even if you need a placeholder or even if you need something on urgent basis without you get a proper asset, I think this is one of the best thing which you would do. And I have used the generated assets in my game as well. I'm not shy on that, but I have done it. Why not? I mean, I am a core developer. I was never an artist. So definitely I had to find myself a way. So if you see, we just gave it some of the instruction that generated a 2D pixelated image of hospital, which I can use it in my 2D game development journey and make it white and tall with big windows. And if you see, it has started generating something which can help us a lot. So for the core basic things, for example, like characters and all, I would not say rely on AI because it is not that sharp to create animations, to create sprite sheets, but it is good enough for placeholders. It is good enough for making sure that you have something on the background. Now, one more thing I would suggest, if you see here, you can see that this particular thing has a background, right? But most of the 2D games which you make, you would not need a background, right? So one thing I would suggest you that use this, go ahead on any Google page and write online background remover, and you would see most of these things. I would suggest you go with Adobe because that is one of the most trusted one, but there are a lot of free ones as well. So it will just ask you to upload your file, just upload it. It will take some time and then it will give you without a background, which you can directly import and use in your 2D game. I mean, this is so simple, right? I didn't even have to wait. I didn't have to try myself. I didn't have to waste any much of time. And if you see, I mean, it's not perfect, right? But with the right tool, with the right online tool, with the right generated image, it would be very easy for you to do this. Now, if you see, I just downloaded it, has given me a perfect image which I can just go ahead and use it in my game. See how simple was that? I know there are some here's and there's, but you can manually do that as well in any Photoshop or something. That is very, very, very simple. So instead of Photoshop, also you can just directly go ahead and use the online Adobe tools as well. So this is the first thing. Now, the second thing which a lot of people struggles with, not technically, but struggles with what do we say? Time management. For example, there are very basic codes. For example, player movements codes, or for example, anime or parallax background. We struggle a lot because there are so many things to do as a solo developer. You cannot spend that much of a time on small codes. So what would I suggest to you? Just I would do the same. I would ask it to generate a parallax script for me. So, please give me a C sharp code for my Unity development which will be the parallax for the background. I am doing very generic search just to show you that how quickly it can help you. See, so now parallax is such a simple script. It just gave you just attach it. It gives you instruction on how to use it. Just attach the script to each background layer. Assign the main camera to cam. Set the difference, and you can, for example, You can just, if this script works, it's amazing. But if script doesn't work, you can also tell it that this is not working. Give me another solution. And it will give you that another solution as well. So it will give you another script, another instructions, another way of doing it. It is endless. It helps you so much in getting ready with your 2D game development. So that's the second thing of how you can use AI or free resources to make your first game. Now, for example, if you, I'm only covering 2D parts for now. If this video gets, good response, if people love this more, I would go ahead and make a one for 3D as well because I'm creating a new game on 3D environment. So, to catch things up, you can just subscribe to this particular channel. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Edge. And please, I would just request you just give my game Chase the Bag a chance and just let me know how you feel about it. Every thing matters at the moment when I'm just starting out and just testing my waters. Now the last thing which is left is we are done with code, we are done with visuals. The last thing which is sound. So I would just go ahead and say that just search for free royalty free music for game development. For game development. For game developers. Now if you see these have already been selected, you can just go ahead and you can open one of these websites which are more popular one. Just go ahead, look for the music which you are looking for. For example, there are so many things. If I just play it, I'm not sure you will be able to see. There are so many things. You can see the mood as well if you want to go for dreamy, laid back, hopeful. There are so many filters on it. Search for the music, search for the background, search for things which fix out the mood, and you would definitely be able to, go ahead and use that. I am using it, and trust me, there is nothing more good than using the free assets and AI to help yourself out. It does at least 70% of the work. You just have to collect things together and make the final output rather than thinking about the art, thinking about the music, thinking about your characters. Just find something that suits you. Don't force yourself to use something which is available for free or available on open source or available on AI, but to make sure you go ahead and try to get as many things ready made as possible. I would not go for free or paid because that is a personal choice. That is something dependent upon personal budget. But I was running through a lot of tough budget. So I just went ahead and made sure that most of the things are free and most of the things are ready made available for me so that I can really focus on collecting the right information and making things work. Before concluding this video, I would give you one last and very, very, very big advice that don't just go ahead and use the things whatever you download. Make sure that you are allowed to use them commercially, or even you are allowed to use them or not. For example, if you go ahead and use this website Pixby, you would see here that there are so many musics, but is every music available for your content or not, right? I mean, you are able to do it or not. So just go ahead, find for licensing. Okay, just go ahead and look for stuffs, and if you can see, there is a license summary and terms of service. So I would just go ahead. So it just says what you are allowed to do with this content. Use content for free, use content without having to attribute the author, and modify to adapt the content. But you cannot sell or distribute this content or standalone basis. If your content contains any recognition part, I mean, I will just not go ahead and read everything, but if you got my point, right, you just have to go ahead, make sure that you are legally allowed to use that content. So make sure whatever you're downloading from the internet has a proper license attached to it, which gives you the permission to make sure that you are able to use it appropriately or not. That's the first part on the things, on the images which you download, on the assets which you download. The last thing is just because everything is being generated from AI doesn't mean that it's free. For example, you can directly ask Copilot or any AI which you prefer that am I allowed to use the images which you are giving me? So you can just ask it that you gave a hospital sprite for my game development. Can I be responsible for purpose and my game while that I once sell it but when we use it in the game I will sell. I mean, just in case, so you can just ask it. So it just said absolutely Karthik, the Spyta generator is safe to use in a game, including for commercial purpose. So you took its consent as well that you are able to use it. And you are allowed to go ahead and make sure that you are able to sell your game when you use it. So please make sure you're looking for the licenses because when I started out, I didn't knew it, right? I made so small games, but I used the music which were not allowed. And right before I was uploading, the trailer when I was uploading the trailer on YouTube, YouTube told me that you're not allowed to use this music. Then I realized why am I not allowed to use this music? It's just the music of my trailer. Then I backtracked and then I realized, oh shit, this was licensed. This is a personal property. This is not something for free. So please do the research. Make sure you are using the right assets. Make sure you are using the capabilities of AI. And that's it. So please make sure you take care of all the things which I'm saying. Don't stick to my instructions, but make sure you can use them as much as it benefit you. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, to like my pages, to test out my game. I don't force you to play it, but if you find it worth your time, I would request you just go ahead and get along with it. And also just subscribe to this channel. I'm new to it. I do not know what content creation is. I do not know how to make an informative video. I'm just trying my best and spreading my word so that I can help out people who, who are at the same place as I am, just trying to make something of their own and start their career as a solo indie game developer. So that's it from my side. Signing off. See you next time. Just to let me know how do you think about this video in the comment section. Thank you so much. See you. Until next time.